guys, I thought I would make a video and introduce myself and the Outlaw Oracle deck in which I created. So one of the things that I think is so important is when you're watching these readings online, being really clear about who you're watching and tuning into, because do you know if they're clearing the cards, if they're setting a sacred space, who their guides are, who they're getting their information from? I think it's really dangerous how these, readings come across on your For You page and say, this reading's for you. Like, that can be a really deceptive energy or an entity that's trying to continue to reel you back in and give you false information or mislead you in some way. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't made myself forward as like a tarot reader on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, is because I don't think that you need other people necessarily to read the cards for you every day. I think it's totally fine to go get a reading every once in a while whenever you need some clarity, but it can be very easy to become dependent on other people and thinking that they are some sort of conduit or they have some sort of closer connection to source and can get you better information than you can get for yourself. When the truth is, you have an entire spiritual team that is rooting for you, waiting for you to call upon them, and trying to get your attention every single day. So that's why I made this deck, the Outlaw Oracle. I was really tired of those love and light tropes, and the kind of oracle decks that are just like, twin flame this and manifestation that and love and light and love and light. And it all felt too shallow to me. I'm very Plutonian in nature. I'm a Scorpio rising. I like to cut through the bullshit and speak the truth. And I felt like so many of those decks and so many of the way that those readings go with those decks, they felt shallow, like they were not getting to the root of what the heck's going on here. So I created this deck kind of showing people the ways in which I learned to look for signs and symbols in my everyday life, and it's all based on my Southern country upbringing, but whiskey, it has a certain meaning to me, smoke, that has another kind of meaning to me. And these are kind of a shared language that I developed with my spirit team, my spirit guides. And my hope was in creating this, that it would kind of turn you on to start looking for those signs and creating your own shared language with your spirit team as well. And what I've got in this deck is 44 different pictures that I have taken in my travels across the US. And then I have written a short little snippet about what I think of whenever I see that symbol. And then there's this kind of too long didn't read, let's call it the straight shot, but too long didn't read version, one sentence summation of what the heck this means. I have the upright and reversed meanings, and then I have recommended songs, whether you pull this upright or reversed. And so the hope here is to learn to teach you how to lean on your own intuition and start speaking to spirit and your own guides and your own spirit team and your ancestors every day, because you don't need anybody else to read for you. Now, that being said, I would like to do a 3-card reading today, just to kind of show you a little taste of working with this deck. And that's not because I want people to become dependent on me as a reader per se, but more to show you how to work with these tools. And so if this message has found you today, really kind of see how it feels in your body, like if you even want to continue on watching from here. Because if I'm not the reader for you, I'm not the reader for you. You can read for yourself. You don't need anybody else to do this. But what I am going to do first is just kind of clear the energy. I always knock on the deck 3 times to kind of wake it up and state my intentions. This reading is for the collective, for the small group of people in this little corner of the internet who do tune into the Outlaw Oracle. And I ask, please Spirit, please God, please Holy Spirit, please Ascended Masters and Ancestors, come forward and deliver any messages that would be most helpful for that small audience that will be watching this today. So what we're going to do is shuffle the deck until it kind of feels settled. And I'll pick 3 cards for you to choose from. They'll be short little readings, but something that might be helpful for you today. That feels good. Card number 1. Card number 1. This is card number 1. card number 2. And finally, card number 3. All right. So again, card number 1, 2, or 3. Sit here for a moment, see which one you would like to get a message from today. Okay, we'll begin with card number 1. And card number 1 is cactus, and it talks about endurance and longevity. You know, the cactus is able to survive in an incredibly harsh environment, and not only are they able to survive, they thrive. And they retain water, and they're able to provide resources for other living creatures in the desert in this harsh environment. And they do have really deep roots in order to endure these harsh conditions and to draw the water and the nourishment up that they need. And they also can be so statuesque and tall and amazing. And so they provide shade, and they just give back to the environment in such a beautiful way, even though they have these prickly pokes to protect them. So if this card is something that resonates with you, then you probably are exhibiting that type of endurance and that thick skin needed to get through some sort of a harsh environment. And what's amazing is, even though you have been through so much resiliency that's caused you to have to get this sort of thick skin, you're able to nourish others and provide for them in a way by just being who you are, not morphing to be anything softer or easier to digest, just being who you are. Now, if we look up card number 42 in the deck, just in case you want to know what songs are recommended, we have, I'm not to be trampled on, I hold my own, and I share what I can. That's the straight shot. And the songs that I recommended that you listen to are 13 Silver Dollars by Coulter Wall, Ready or Not by Shaky Graves and featuring Sierra Farrell, or You Can't Roller Skate in a Buffalo Herd by Roger Miller. And if you listen to that song, he's like, all you got to do is put your mind to it, knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it. That's the kind of endurance needed right now. All right, so card number 2. Card number 2, you pulled the Diamondback Rattler. And this is kind of like primal speed, but also like intuition. You're being called to take a pause and step back and see if the path that you're going on is the one that you want to continue on. Imagine if you were going down a path and you saw a Diamondback Rattler. You know, you would stop for a moment and you would reassess the situation. So that's what this card is asking you to do. Now, in the book, I really love the way that I wrote about this card because it talks about how snakes are so often misunderstood. So let's just read this quick little snippet from the book. Snakes get a bad reputation. Outlaws can understand what it's like to be totally misunderstood. They're seen as the symbol of original sin in Western theology and branded as cold-blooded, untrustworthy opportunists. Colloquial tales talk of sinister snakes in the grass, and they warn of their venom. Most folks say it's a warning if a snake crosses your path. Stand still, don't move, except to back away unless you get struck. We're told to heed the rattle or the hiss as a warning to get back, don't come any closer. And yes, on the trail that would be wise advice, as snakes have beautiful skin, but they have a poisonous bite. But what do the ancient wisdom stories say of the snake? In some cultures, snakes represent wisdom, endurance, speed, power, and primal energy, and they act decisively with speed, precision, and conviction. Snakes are loners, and they don't come near people often, and they aren't known to hunt people either. Rather, when they strike, it's because they felt threatened. They possess the ability to shed their skins and start anew. In truth, snake represents the unconscious, suppressed parts of ourselves. It is the parts that we exile and other. When the Diamondback Rattler or any snake comes into your awareness, take a little wisdom from both schools of thought. Stop what you're doing to reconsider your path and inquire what the situation has to inform you. Now, the straight shot that we have for this card is, I'm missing something. I'll reconsider first and then make my move. And the songs recommended are Snake Farm by Ray Wiley Hubbard, The Outsiders by Eric Church, and The Chokin' Kind by Waylon Jennings. So that's card number 2. And card number 3, I love this card. This is the Monarch Butterfly card. And it speaks of transformations, but also being supported by your ancestors. The Monarch Butterflies, they symbolize ancestral comfort and visitation, like in Dia de los Muertos in South America and Mexico. And they have to undergo a really incredible transformation when they go into the chrysalis. You know, they literally liquefy and turn into a whole new being when they emerge. And then they have to kind of rely on the winds to help them complete their journey. So they're spiritually supported in their homecoming journey, you know? So if you've pulled this card, then you are going through some sort of a transformation, but you are supported on the spirit side. And you've got a tremendous amount of support, and you are becoming an entirely new being. So let's see what the guidebook says about card number 33, the Monarch card. The straight shot is, evolution is inevitable. Release control and trust in divine guidance. And the upright songs that I recommend are Clay Pigeons by Blaze Foley, which is such a touching, sweet song about starting over. Mom and Dad's Waltz by Lefty Frizzell and sung by Willie Nelson on a great cover. And In Color, another cover by Jamie Johnson. So these are the 3 cards that we had today. Cactus, Diamondback Rattler, and Monarch. I hope you enjoyed this reading with the Outlaw Oracle. If you're interested in getting your own deck, they're available at theoutlaworacle.com. I also have them in TikTok shop and on Instagram shop and Facebook shops. There's also some incredible retailer partner friends of mine that are selling it across the US. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, be true to you. Bye, guys.